Hey guys, my name is Sasha and today we will explain a romantic movie of a woman who fall in love with 20-year-old boy. As our movie start we saw Alice, who is an editor of a fashion magazine. She was on a business trip to a foreign location. In the flight a man tries to harass her. Annoyed, she dragged the young boy who had just walked in and asked him to sit with her. The boy's name was Balthazar. It was his first time flying first class, so he was particularly excited. He's having fun playing with the seat. They had a small talk and exchanged names. The plane landed. Suddenly Balthazar noticed a flash drive on the ground. He picked it up and tried to call out to Alice, but she already left. Alice got in her sister's car and left. Balthazar hurries but couldn't catch up. Next day, Alice returns to work and hears that Lisa, her boss, is trying to replace her. She went to her boss to discuss it, but he told her that her blogs and articles are too old-fashioned and are not working and gives her a deadline to try something new if she want to keep her job. Alice was upset and left to her cabin. Then she couldn't find the flash drive. Soon she realized that Balthazar had found her flash drive. She rushed to call and ask for it, but Balthazar was at a disco. He heard Alice's voice on the phone and got nervous for no reason. Alice arrived at disco. Balthazar greeted her with a wave from afar. When Alice learned that he didn't have the flash drive with him at the moment, she asked him to get the flash drive as soon as possible. Balthazar takes her to his place. At parking they saw Balthazar's pink scooter. He kindly helped her to put on her helmet. Alice's co-worker happened to see this scene. The two gossips took a picture of the sweet scene. After a search got the flash drive. When she left, Balthazar came out after her. He stammered nervously and asked her to meet him for coffee. Alice saw what he was thinking. She said, "You're too young and we're not right for each other." And left. The next day Alice came to the office and saw the strange looks from her colleagues. Finally she found out from her assistant. It turned out that the photos from last night had been seen by everyone, but this is a very pleasant thing for her boss. He thought it was cool that Alice was in love with someone years younger than her, and this can help her to write a nice article about it. Alice, encouraged by her friends and boss, decides to saw Balthazar in to write the article. Later she changes from her usual office outfit. She comes to school dressed sexy and asks Balthazar to an art show. At night Balthazar visits Alice's place. She asks him to come with her and took him straight into the bedroom. The noise they made stunned the neighbors downstairs. Balthazar was speechless by Alice's beauty in an elegant black dress. He couldn't help but praise her for her beauty. Alice helped him with his clothes. Then they went to art show. There they looks like a normal couple. She watched Balthazar having so much fun. Alice was embarrassed. Alice complimented the organizer on his artistic skills. Balthazar, who had returned with the wine, said that there was no point in the organizers doing anything fancy. Alice laughed to cover up the awkwardness. After the show Balthazar gently followed her with his umbrella. When Alice answered the phone, he kept his distance from her thoughtfully. Alice lied that her daughter was in the hospital, so Balthazar immediately ran to stop a car and let Alice go. Balthazar had to give the umbrella to the passenger he had just pulled out of the car. After few days, Alice took Balthazar to the company's runway show. She took the occasion very seriously because the president of the group was also there to visit. But during the show there was an accident. One of the models accidentally fell down. Balthazar ran straight to the runway and helped her up. The president, who was used to seeing all kinds of traditional runway shows, thought it was a special episode arranged by Alice on purpose. Alice wanted to continue the show in front of her boss, so she took Balthazar to the company's reception. She was afraid that her plan would fail if she was exposed. Alice quickly pulls Balthazar onto the dance floor. An intimate dance heats up the atmosphere. Deeply in love. Later Balthazar takes Alice home on his pink motorcycle. He wanted to go upstairs and sit down, but Alice rejects him. He walks away, but within few steps he went back and gets up the courage to knock on Alice's door. Alice opened the door carefully. Balthazar was standing outside the door. When he learned that Alice was home alone, he kissed her straight away, and they make love that night. In morning they have cute fight. Later they starts to date more frequently. Balthazar always has a way of surprising you on a date. Balthazar posted a message on the tree. He told Alice to follow the arrow to the seat and pick up the MP stuck under the seat bench. He then rode up to her on his little pink motorcycle. She drove Alice aimlessly through the city. This is the romance of a poor boy. Alice had seen a lot of fancy restaurants in the past, but this time she enjoyed the innocence and simplicity. Later we saw that Alice write all her dating experience with Balthazar in her articles, and they even got pretty famous. This helps her to keep her job. Now she was also considering whether she should continue with this false relationship. On this day Balthazar had prepared a date. He excitedly expressed his hopes for the future. Alice, however, spoke her mind. Directly. She said, "When I'm getting old you are still young, don't think we're going to be happy. I have daughter. So I only have weekends to enjoy the time we have together. I don't want you to lose your young life because of her." Balthazar was surprised to hear this. But he didn't know how to continue the talks. And they broke up. Balthazar returned home devastated and depressed. He didn't go out all day and kept himself at home. However, the breakup even changed Alice. She was very upset when she finally realized that she is attracted to the young boy. Alice's boss doesn't know that she and Balthazar have broken up, so he asked her to bring Balthazar to office article shoot. Then she arrived at Balthazar's place herself to ask for help. Firstly he thought Alice was trying to get back together with him. But when he found out Alice's ultimate goal he turned away in anger. The next day at the shoot Alice was hoping for Balthazar's arrival. He didn't answer his phone. Just when she thought Balthazar wouldn't be there, she went to report to her boss. But then the assistant came and said that Balthazar was already doing the registration. Alice's friend came and found Balthazar in the middle of makeup. He told Balthazar that Alice was only using him to get her promotion. Knowing the truth, Balthazar didn't show it. He came to the shoot as usual, but he was so angry at the photographer's disrespectful attitude during the shoot. In anger he even went straight into the water pool. Alice came after him and apologized. At this point, Balthazar accused Alice of being selfish. In front of everyone she cheated him for her career. In this situation Alice has nothing to say. The boss also fired her because of the scam. One day she suddenly found Balthazar's lost shoes. She always stared at the shoes for a long time in silence. It was only when her daughter called her from behind that she reacted. They recall how caring and lovely Balthazar was, and she finally realized that she had fallen deeply in love with Balthazar. So she decided to put aside her senses and pursue her love. Alice then went to Balthazar's classroom. Alice expresses her love for Balthazar in front of everyone. When Balthazar questioned their future, Alice kissed him and says, "Isn't that what love is all about? If you are in love, don't be confused by the world, just be bold and brave and pursue without regrets." And the beautiful love story wrap. UPS. Thanks guy for watching. If you like the explanation, please subscribe and like to my channel. See you next.